even before then, I would say maybe 2014, I started to lead sort of weekend volunteer excursions with high school and college students, people from my church, we would come and we would serve the homeless, and we started offering haircuts and rap ciphers and DJs, and people started reaching tens and hundreds of folks that would come and volunteer on the weekends. And so, supporting nonprofits in that way. It was just a seed in my mind. Like, oh, that's kind of cool. If you just add some cool things, we can kind of just incentivize people to do what the world needs, like the society needs them to do. Yeah. And so when I was teaching, I sort of got back into that, just sort of understand like, what are my real skill sets? And, I need to kind of fall into that. And so I taught for 1 year. During my last year teaching, I registered a C Corps for Vower. Okay, gotcha. I had no idea what this would be. I just said, if you're going to do anything, you at least need to register the business. Why make it a C Corps? And you literally are teaching. That doesn't make... But my friends, again, that I started the Ubami beads with were Harvard grads now. They had gone on, and I saw them starting their businesses. And I would be like, hey, girl, like, what kind of registration for your business? She's like, you need to start a C Corps because if you raise money. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm going to do that. Yeah. Had no clue what that meant. I just knew my smart friends did it. They're raising money. I can do it. So I started Vower, and I put it on the C Corps. Nice. Literally, as a 5th grade teacher, I'm just like doing these things. And so that's sort of how we got our start. Gotcha.
Hey, what up, fam? It's Sahr Lebbie, host of Africans in Tech, where we're building bridges and shaping futures in tech. On our pod today, we got Rejoice Jones.
Yes.
All right. So I pinged Rejoice off of Instagram. I'm not even sure if it was me or Kadiatu, but I started checking out Vower and some of the things you were doing there. So I thought it was amazing. So I'm glad that you decided to be on the pod.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So what I usually do is just have guests do a quick intro, nothing technical, just who you are, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so I'm Rejoice. I run Vower. We are a skills-first hiring company. We're seeing the future of work differently. We believe that skills-first hiring will be the future of work, and we've just been getting ahead of that. Been doing it for a few years, got about 10,000 users or so, and so we're really excited about what we're building.
Wow, 10,000 users. That's amazing.
A little bit more than that. But
Okay. Awesome. Did you start it up by yourself?
I did. Well, of course, like you have folks to help you along the way to help frame the vision. But yeah, it's kind of been just like chugging along, Rejoice, and being inspired by other builders and innovators. And yeah.
Okay. Sorry as I sip my water, guys. So let's talk about your background.
Okay.
Where are you from?
I am from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I am a proud daughter and granddaughter of several, I would say, blue-collar workers, construction, GM factories. And I always preface that because it's the way I kind of see work and workforce development. When you grow up in Michigan and you grow up in the Midwest, work is very different. They do measure your respect by the number of calluses on your hands. That's even how you can date. My granddad would say, who's trying to date what? Let me see how many calluses he has on his hands. So just very much like rooted in skills, rooted in sort of like concreted, consistent work ethic. And that sort of has shaped me. So Grand Rapids, Michigan, I moved here into Atlanta, actually Clayton County, which is very different than just Atlanta. I got to say that. They definitely grew me up real quick.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, going from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I went to a STEM academy. Okay. Like I was bused to school. I went to a STEM academy. Wow. So, I lived in, like lower income, upper lower income area, but And so, but also I was just like very geeky and like,
Gotcha.
and then you go to Clayton County, no offense, but I was at North Clayton and I was going, I mean, I definitely know that it was just different. I learned a lot about life though. And I think you just combine those skills. Okay. So, yeah.
So why the move from Grand Rapids?
Just, you know, my mom just wanted, you know, better for herself. My dad was a community organizer. My mom, a social worker.
Okay.
And she worked in foster cares and just sort of helping with DFACS. We called it DFACS back then. It's Department of Family and Children's Services.
Okay.
Bethany Christian Services, if that ring a bell. And she retired from Emory Hospital, sort of working in the hospital, doing those things. And so, yeah, she wanted a better life, and I came with her.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking DFAC was that military cafeteria? That's what we call DFAC? Yeah, so whenever I
different names.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So Clayton County, siblings. Did you move down here with your siblings and all that?
I would say like a few of my siblings probably came for like a year or so. My sister came in for a year or so and then moved back. All of them kind of came, tried it out, and then they're rooted in Michigan, so they're still there. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What I guess was the most memorable thing you remember about being in Clayton versus Grand Rapids?
I think that Grand Rapids gave me a great academic start. Okay. It just helped me to frame the way that I learned how to learn. And sort of, I think that just is the case of going to a STEM academy. Gotcha. We were literally called Math and Science Academy.
Okay.
So most of the studying was math and science. So I think I got a strong grasp and just became sort of a science kid who loved to read. Gotcha. And then Clayton County gave me... It gave me like the world, like literally the world. Like my friends were so much more advanced than me on just like everything from boys to sort of how you carry yourself, to be confident in yourself. Like it was just like, it was a good, different type of learning that adolescence, I think, like, I wasn't sheltered. It was very much just like, okay, you're out here in Clayco, College Park type. I left off the G for a reason. And so that was like a real accelerated learning just socially for me.
How old were you?
I was 12.
Okay. Oh, yeah. That's, So is that middle school?
Yeah.
Age? Okay. Wow. Yeah. It definitely brings you reality real quick. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And then let's talk a little bit like it's post middle school, high school, going into college. So I did 1 year at Mount Zion. Shout out to Mount Zion High School. That was also in Clayton County, but sort of like towards Jonesboro area. Okay. And then I moved all the way to Douglasville and went to Douglas County High School, where I spent my last 2 years of college, played basketball there. I played basketball throughout the whole time, but I played sports. I was in ROTC. I was on student government. I was on doing everything. Okay. But I think the suburbs helped me too towards later in the year, because it just kind of recalibrated my focus and I was around great student athletes at Douglas County. Gotcha. Yeah. Because even to this day, Douglas County produces a lot of good athletes.
Yeah. Great. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, amazing coach. I had shout out to Coach Forrest, Chet Forrest, who was just such an amazing man. And since my father wasn't present with me, just like emotionally, but from Michigan. Yeah. So Coach Forrest kind of stepped in and was like that father figure. And he was like just so disciplined in the fundamentals of sports. And I just learned so much about life through learning fundamentals in basketball and track. And it just continue to help shape me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we talked about this, I think, on a different pod where I think not just sport just to play sports, but the discipline, something like the grit that you get from playing sports, it carries over into
everything.
Other things. So,
everything. Yeah.
Cool. And then what about college? What'd you do? Or where did you go? Let me say that. What did you do?
Yeah, I graduated from Emory. I went there for pre-med. It's so funny because like before I graduated so this is also what you learn in adolescence. I was engaged actually when I was even thinking about it now. It's so funny. Okay. But I was engaged when I was 16.
Oh, okay.
To my high school sweetheart. Okay. And he was from New Orleans. So post Katrina, we had a flood of folks from New Orleans to come. And I got caught up with this lock-headed Ninth Ward from the East.
Okay.
On my way up to... got caught up. But no, so I got into pretty much every school that I applied to coming out of Douglas County. I was top 10%. Nice. And my boyfriend, you know, at the time, he didn't get into those schools. Gotcha. And also, too, like, just coming from New Orleans, it was very, very different. It was Katrina really messed up a lot of learning, a lot of just communities. And so, you know, school systems tried their best to get folks on track. And so he kind of fell under that, not really having the support needed. So we both went to a 2-year school called South Georgia. Okay. And my parents, you talking about not okay, took my car away, it just wasn't good. And I was just like, oh, I'm going for love. But anyway, love a girl forever. But the silver lining and sort of the benefit of that is you become, quote unquote, a big fish in a small pond. Just because I was, you know, I studied biology, had a 3.9, 4.0 GPA. I got a
2-year?
Yeah, after 2 year. Gotcha. I got a full ride to Emory.
Nice.
Full merit ride to Emory. And so that was, I would look back in hindsight, that was the benefit of that. And then I got an internship, interning with Senator Isaacson as a, you know, and that was, they only took 4 people a year out of the entire nation. I was one of those interns. And so just doing so well at South Georgia, best all around. Nice. I just killed it when I was there and got a full ride to Emory, and that has sort of started my serious academic journey.
Okay. Yeah. After 2 years, you did pre-med as well?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So initially high school, going to, you got accepted into Emory, but you didn't get like the full ride. And then when you went to 2 years, you got the full ride. No.
I didn't apply to Emory initially. Gotcha. I applied to, I think I wanted to go to North Carolina. I got a full ride to Georgia State. I got a full ride to a lot of like state schools.
Gotcha.
When I got to the 2-year school is when I didn't initially declare biology.
Gotcha.
When I declared biology, and then I was like, okay, great. What school is going to prepare me for medical school? And then I applied to Emory and got a full ride.
Gotcha.
So then get to Emory, and then I'm pre-med and political science dual major.
Okay. The boo went with you?
No, he didn't. The boo did not go with me. But shout out to him and his family, who I love very. His family, like people from New Orleans.
Yeah.
I don't know if have you ever spent time in New Orleans?
Not much.
Okay, you have to spend time. You don't know love until you've loved someone from Louisiana or New Orleans. You just don't know love. Okay. It's the type of love that will square up with you and cook food for you after. It's so weird. Like in the same hour, like you can be arguing and it's like, come get food. It's like, okay, all right. I guess it's like what love, not specifically him, but just like, I just feel like that's like the love of New Orleans, of just tough lovers, but deep lovers. Like,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I won't dive too deep into
it's all good. Yeah.
What happened with that? All right. So you're at Emory, and how long did you stay like in pre-med with Emory, and what happened with that?
Yeah, I just graduated with a 4-year degree, and then I did Teach for America afterwards.
Nice.
I think towards my last few years at Emory, I kind of just started to ask myself, like, do I want to do medicine? Do I want to do law? Hence the political science, adding on the political science towards the end. And so I did Teach for America, which all of us kind of, when we needed a break and we weren't doing a year abroad, we kind of did an AmeriCorps program. And so I did TFA. Can
you talk about what that is for people?
Oh, yeah. Teach for America is an AmeriCorps program. It's a sort of a national-led program where basically seek very, I would say, graduates of great schools, and we can even talk about what that means nowadays. What does great school mean? What does that actually mean? But at the time, I guess that meant top 20 schools, top 10 schools, gotcha. People with high aptitude, and then basically they do 2 years in inner city, mostly Title I public education schools. And so you will work there as a teacher, try to help support school systems as they try to improve. I think it's a great model. I think, everyone who's done Teach for America can attest to this. It's a great model, I think, that allowed us to really see education as a focal point to deeply understand how the trajectory of people's lives go. If you have a great education, typically you have more access to opportunity. If you don't have that access, typically your opportunities are narrow. You don't have as much proximity to parity. And so I think that's what I'll say about it. There are some hiccups, and with any national program, you're going to have some hiccups, but the network is strong. Some of my closest friends I met through Teach for America. Some of the people that are leading some of the best organizations came through Teach for America. So, nice. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And we talked a little about, is that where you did a study abroad with?
No, actually, I studied my last semester at Emory. I went to the University of Cape Town in South Africa.
Oh, okay.
And I studied advanced South African politics.
Oh, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. I studied advanced South African politics. I lived in Rondebosch in Cape Town.
Okay.
Literally, we were set up nice. It was a cohort of Emory, Princeton, Berkeley, University of Michigan folks all together, and we kind of all paired. Gotcha. So my roommate was from Princeton. Nice. Shout out to Angela Groves, who was just sworn in as a judge in Cleveland, Ohio. Shout out to you.
Nice.
So we lived sort of all together and kind of got a chance to experience South Africa, which is like crazy. My spring breaks were in Namibia. I was frequent in the townships. One of the first micro enterprises we started was out of the township, helping women sell paper bead jewelry. And so I kind of got a fast track to business and how that translates nationally. And in fact, a large part of when we think about the future work and how we can exchange skill for value, I got from being in South Africa, because a lot of my peers from different parts of Africa were on bursaries, and we'll talk about that. Okay. Just how to pay for things when the money is not readily available.
Gotcha.
Similar
what's
to
that word to use?
Bursary economy.
Okay. What's that? Yeah.
Just say like you're a big corporation, and you were trying to build a large workforce, right? Okay. Yep. Maybe some of the things that you would do is you would go into a township and you would find the people that are keeping the township nice, and you may offer them tuition to keep doing that. Yep. Or you may offer deserving, smart students tuition in exchange to work for your company post-graduation. Gotcha. So these are different ways that folks exchanged value. Gotcha. I mean, these are stemming from how we used to exchange value on the barter system. Yep. And it's just helped me to think about currency, alternative currencies, how we get things done quicker without sort of the dollar and the implications of the fiat US dollar being a barrier to entry. And we'll talk about that, because when we're skilling up people globally, folks sometimes can't be paid by USD, or they have to go through different ways to be paid. And we just think about that when it comes to how do we get the best skilled people how do people get upskilled quickly? How do people get access? And so that was my first experience recognizing how people can get things done that matter without necessarily the way you got tuition. Oh, you get a Pell Grant. And it's just like, no, actually, I'll just work for this company when I get done. And so South Africa really, really helped me in so many ways to understand the world and to understand modernity, to understand skills and all the things.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm trying to think. I think it was Chris. We talk about decentralization, and that sort of like binds into that a little bit. So we can relate that as well. Okay, cool. So South Africa.
I'm looking at you, but where should I be?
Oh, yeah, no, we can okay. Start there. Yeah.
Okay.
No worries. Yeah. Okay. So in terms of South Africa. How long were you there for?
I was there for 6 months.
6 months. Okay.
Yeah.
And then when you came back, what did you do?
Yeah, when I came back, I said, "Oh, okay, I'm going to be a lawyer."
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I studied for my LSAT and worked at Emory, at their International Student and Support Services, where I learned everything about F1 students and how international students come to and start to matriculate through basically education into jobs, education into employment. Okay. And then I worked there for 2 years. And then after that, I worked at Fragaman, which is one of the largest corporate immigration firms. So I worked there as a paralegal because I thought I wanted to be an attorney. Okay. And then I moved abroad again. After that, I realized, oh, yeah, this is not it either. And so I think also, too, it's just like, it's no wonder now that I look back that I'm running a hiring sort of platform because I just understand it's either you're just starting or restarting. Gotcha. Like work is this continuous journey that we get to be curious and go on, and you should have on-ramps to help you to just do what your curiosity wants to do and your insane learning curve. And we just have so many skills that I think are underutilized. Gotcha. So yeah, I worked at Fragaman for 2 years. And then I moved to Mexico. Okay. All right. So pre-med. So the aim pre-med was what? I wanted to be a pediatrician or OBG. Okay. When did that change to? I think it changed when I got in physics, the General Assembly physics. I was like, wait a minute. You know, organic chemistries were its own thing. Yep. And I think organic chemistry, if you make it through organic chemistry. 1 and 2, Orgo will do that to you. Yeah. it raised me up, but I made it and I did well. Yeah. I did well, but I had a great instructor. I had great instructors. And then Emory, it was very auditorium classroom, and I just could not. My learning ability, and I love to learn, and I feel like I'm very academic astute. It was just shot because it was just like, just an auditory. It was no feeling. I just wasn't equipped at the time. So that's when I started, maybe I'm best fit for law. I like doing debate. I just started, being curious and doing something else. Yeah. So I think my love for science will always be here. And we'll talk about some of the other things that I'm into, biotech and epigenetics and all the things. Okay. But I think at the time I didn't want to matriculate through standard way. I wanted to just like explore and see maybe some other things. I will say this, while I was at Emory, I did a fellowship at Duke. Okay. And it was a Ralph Bunche fellowship, and basically it was race and American politics. I thought I wanted to be a professor. Listen, let me tell you, all I did was school. And I was applying to everything, and most of the time I would get everything. Yeah. And so, but these were just my way of just like experiencing things, allowing my curiosity to just go wild. Yeah. I think it's fine. I think, at that age, I think a lot of times people expect, folks to, once you graduate, you have it all figured out. I'm like, you're still very young. You still don't know what the heck you're doing. Some people don't figure it out until their 30s, late 40s, and I think that's totally fine. So and still now. Exactly. Yeah. So cool. So what made you go to Mexico? Yeah, so I was like, I got to get out of this country. I got to get out of this country. This was like 2016. Okay. I said, I got to get out of this country. Gotcha. I need to go. And I was like, okay, I still have this teacher's license from Teach for America. Let me just go teach abroad. That was the thing to do. Everyone was like going to teach abroad. Okay. A lot of my friends were in Korea. Some of them went to Dubai because Dubai would pay you great. Dubai would pay you great and find housing for you. And you could just use your savings to kind of, travel. Okay. And so my friends are doing that. So I said, I'm going to go abroad. And I got hired. I got role offers from a school in Thailand, a school in Honduras, and a school in Cabo, Mexico. Okay. And I chose Cabo. Not because it's Cabo, because I had no idea what to expect, but because it was at a very prestigious expat school. Okay. So all the rich folks, I had never seen wealth. People say they see wealth when they're married. No. I had never seen wealth the way I've seen wealth living in San Jose, Cabo.
Gotcha.
I'd never seen it was my first time staying the night on yachts.
Yeah.
It was my students and the entire school was just for expat learners. And you meet people whose families, this is one of their schools out of 3. So 3 months, their children here, and then the next 3 months they're in Switzerland. The other 3 months they're in, Bali.
Yeah.
And they have these schools set up. And I was just like, wait. It was just like, people live like this?
Yeah.
It was just this like, oh man, my whole world. Like I said, my experiences abroad really unlocked a lot of things for me. And so, I lived in Mexico for a year.
Okay.
And I taught 5th grade. Soy de maestro de inglés.
Okay.
Still got it. It just means I was a teacher of English and I taught 5th grade.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I'm still in touch with those students, and they're now, off and doing their first year of college. It's pretty crazy.
Okay.
But that was like my year abroad, and it was the first time I met entrepreneurs who had been in America or Canada and was just like, hey, I'm going to start a business, and they were doing really well.
Gotcha.
And even though you made less, the cost of living was less, but the what is it? I would say the quality of life was way more accelerated, and fresh tuna every day. You're on the beach. I had a beach front. It was just like, girl, come on.
So a year. Why did you leave that?
Okay, there is a ceiling for someone who never wanted to be a teacher. I needed a break from. I wasn't even going really to be a teacher. I just needed a break.
Gotcha.
I needed my brain. I needed to understand what was I doing. I did pre-med. I was going to do. I was just doing so much, and I didn't have a break, and I was just feeling like the pressures to choose and to know. And I was just like, I just need to go somewhere to be. Like, I just need to think. And that gave me that year. And they wanted me to stay, and I would have my own. I played basketball when I won. Wait, we gotta go back. I literally played basketball in Mexico and won the entire cities. Our team won. Shout out to Los Leones. We won the entire city's championship.
Okay, while teaching. That's crazy. Okay.
And so.
You didn't teach basketball as well?
No, I didn't teach basketball, but they offered me that. They was like, if you stay, we're going to add your salary. And I was just like, oh my God, y'all always wanted to teach a basketball team. But no, I didn't stay because I knew I had to face the music. Gotcha. And the music is America. And they do charge a tax when you come back from abroad living like that. Okay. Not an actual tax, but just like, you went abroad and you didn't build skills or jobs here.
Gotcha.
So, kind of hit the ground running again. Yeah.
So what'd you do when you came back here?
When I came back, it's like 2018. Mm-hmm. Oh man, that was another year of growth. I went back home. I dusted off all of these years of just moving and grooving and said, okay, what are you going to do? And then I think at this time, I had taken custody over my nephew for a while. He was in 7th grade. And I took a teaching role and worked in Fulton County for 1 year. And I really grew. I mean, literally, these are just growing pains this whole time. It's just like I feel like I'm not saying going through therapy was just like, I never actually have thought about these things in a while. Okay. But I taught for 1 year in 2018. During that time is when I started to sort of lead. Even before then, I would say maybe 2014, I started to lead sort of weekend volunteer excursions with high school and college students. People from my church. We would come and we would serve the homeless, and we started offering haircuts and rap ciphers and DJs, and people started reaching tens and hundreds of folks that would come and volunteer on the weekends. And so supporting nonprofits in that way, it was just a seed in my mind. Like, that's kind of cool. If you just add some cool things, we can kind of just incentivize people to do what the world needs, like the society needs them to do. Yeah. And so when I was teaching, I sort of got back into that, just sort of understand, like, what are my real skill sets? Mm-hmm. And I need to kind of fall into that. And so I taught for 1 year. During my last year teaching, I registered a C Corps for Vower.
Okay. Gotcha.
I had no idea what this would be. I just said, if you're going to do anything, you at least need to register the business. Why make it a C Corps? And you literally are teaching. That doesn't make, but my friends, again, that I started the Ubami beads with were Harvard grads now. They had gone on and I saw them starting their businesses. And I would be like, hey girl, like, what kind of registration for your business? She was like, you need to start a C Corps because if you raise money. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna do that. Had no clue what that meant. I just knew my smart friends did it. They're raising money. I can do it. So I started Vower and I put it on the C Corps.
Nice.
Literally, as a 5th grade teacher, I'm just like doing these things. And so that's sort of how we got our start.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you said we. Initially, I know you were thinking about, was somebody else helping you kind of think through that?
Yeah, I had amazing, brilliant, and he runs an amazing organization called Empower, where he's skilling up young people. Okay. During the time that I was really kind of understanding what Vower can be, just as far as like workforce, entry level hiring, how can we use rewards to skill people? How can we use the same sort of framework of concert tickets? And because we got literally, when we was just say volunteer, people would be like, okay, I'll volunteer maybe if I have the requirements to do so. Right. But when you tell them their favorite DJ is outside or their rap cipher, they're going to come. And then it's like, oh, well, we're volunteering too. Okay, cool. We're already here. Yeah. So it was this model of understanding, like, we can really mobilize people based on rewards. But again, bursary economy. I had already known that from studying abroad in Africa, that you can get a lot of things done when you just align the incentives properly, right? And so I've been doing a lot of thought work about that. And I literally was at RICE, which is the Russell Center for Innovation right here in Atlanta, ran by amazing people that are doing great things for Black businesses. And Dr. Nashley Steffes, who is sort of like an AI evangelist at Amazon, leading that, right? She was there, and I knew that she was going to be there because my hairstylist, I was telling her about this. She was like, oh my gosh, Naturally, you should meet her. And I was like, oh my, and I looked her up and I'm like, oh my gosh, she was a part of a company that sold her company with Jewel Burke Solomon. They sold Part Pick to Amazon, and now she's working at Amazon. I was like, I gotta be here. I gotta meet this woman.
I'm taking down her name as well.
Yes, please. So I got there and she's teaching this lecture, and afterwards she was like, does anybody have any questions? I stand up and I was like, my name's Rejoice and I want to run this company, and I think we can get volunteers to volunteer. We give them rewards like sneakers and concert tickets. And Adrian Devison was in the crowd. He was an engineer, trained engineer. He was like, oh, okay, I'll help you. That's how you guys just stand up and say that. And so he and I started to be in the mix and try to help shape out these thoughts of what does this look like on a larger level. And he came with like that coding development skills. I was a non-technical founder, visionary of what this can be, and kind of using all these experiences of being on the ground and mobilizing people to say, I think there's something bigger with this. And so, 6 years later, here we are.
That's awesome. So you, Adrian, and I know you said, I think 2 other people maybe?
So I have been very blessed to understand how to utilize interns. Okay. So I literally recruited from Emory because that was my alma mater. I recruited from Georgia Tech because I had friends at Georgia Tech. That's nice. I just knew that there were a lot of students always looking for internships and that they probably weren't finding them post-COVID the way that they probably did pre-COVID, just because that's literally how folks would reach out to me. I know you do this volunteer thing, but can you find me interns? Because COVID had really, the great reshuffle, the great resignation was real. Yeah. A lot of things were misaligned. Everyone was trying to figure out what to do. And so I would always have a good 4 or 5 interns on staff. That's smart. Yeah.
One thing I know a lot of people ask about is like, how do I, because when I was in school, same thing, like junior year, mostly junior year, I would say somewhat senior, they'll ask to get like an internship somewhere. Yeah. Are you recognized by institutions like from an internship perspective?
Oh, yeah.
What's that process like?
I would say, so we have a partnership with Georgia State right now. They're Masters of Information Systems. And we went through this amazing professor, Professor Corey Roof, who came on, and he had known me from Atlanta Tech Village, and kind of helped bring me on as a partner, just knowing what I was doing in the field of workforce development and matching interns with companies. And so I would say understand the market first. The market is now supply side. Basically, it's a employer demanded market. More people are looking for work than they're finding it. Yep. So if you are trying to hire from an affordable standpoint, you need to look to hire interns. Yep. Yes, you'll have more risk because they haven't fully developed all their skills, but you will pay less because of that exchange, right? And the beautiful thing is when you hire younger, and this has always been the European way, SAP, Airbus, all of the folks, they hire younger. Yep. Why? Because you can build a more shelf life of talent that know your ways, have your skill sets, and kind of bleed for you. Right. Not really bleed for you, but you know what I mean. But kind of embody your culture for longer periods of time if you start younger. And then the bursary economies we talked about, get them in younger, they kind of have more allegiance and loyalty to you. Right. You don't have to think about attrition so much. You can kind of retain talent for longer periods of time. So where was I going with that? So if you want to hire younger, I really think you should start, if you're just starting, 0 to 2, 0 to 5 years, hire interns, find a capstone, come through Vower, first of all. Come through Vower. We will make sure that you have interns that are highly skilled and trained, because we understand the market, and we've just been working with so many skills. Before we got some of our big partnerships, we had done this for over 400 companies, small business, startups, entrepreneurs. And so start with interns. They're hungry. They have so much energy to give. They're just looking for, all of them are trying to apply to the same big jobs. And it's like, no, work for your local startup or your local entrepreneur. Yep. Build that sauce together and take off. Yeah. I think that will be the future of work. I'm actually almost positive that we'll have more 2 to 5, 2 to 10 person teams than we have that we see today. In the next few years, we'll start to see more entrepreneurs take on early entry talent and then build multi-million-dollar companies.
No, I agree. I mean, especially, I know we're going to talk about this onset of AI. I mean, right now we're in the starter phase, extreme machine learning. But when we get to like AGI and all that other stuff, I think, that's going to be interesting. But let's kind of talk a little bit about Vower. What exactly is Vower? What do you guys do?
I'm going to take you on a journey. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, y'all ready? Because I'm ready. I want you to imagine, literally, oh my gosh. You watch Disney? I've been watching Disney a lot lately because I think it's important that we just get back into the seat of imagination and insane curiosity so we can continue to innovate.
I got 3 kids, so yeah.
Okay, there it is. Just imagine you're on the tube in London, on the MARTA, and do you know any train systems or subway systems in parts of Africa?
We took one to Africa?
In Africa? Or
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is one in Nigeria that's very popular. I'll figure it out.
I've not been in Nigeria, but I plan on going. Please
okay, got to. So you're on the train. Okay. So entry-level worker. Okay. Maybe high school, college, just starting or restarting. That's important. Okay. Just as much as you can swipe left and right on a dating app, you should be able to swipe left and right on jobs and skills.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you should be able to swipe and say, oh, okay, I see this entry-level role. Okay. Social media marketing, business operations intern. Yeah. You look on there, what are the skills? What are the skills you need? Gotcha. You see 3 skills. Okay, I got that. I don't have that. On Vower, we're patented for this. Okay. You should be able to click, learn it now. Okay. So what we're doing is accelerating learning in real time. Gotcha. You learn those skills before you apply. Of course, not all skills are the same, but since we focus only on entry-level roles, it's our ability to really accelerate people from education into employment. Gotcha. other beautiful thing is we still haven't lost that sauce that made us so special in the beginning.
Okay.
Every time you learn a skill, you earn points. Every time you do a job or a gig and we build your resume, you earn points. You can use those points to buy Jordans, concert tickets, Twitch, Uber rewards. What we recognize again is this incentive-based habit-forming loop of gamification. Gotcha. You're going to continue to get people to do what you need them to do if you match the incentives.
Okay.
And for 17-year-old Ashley, she may not know that we need her to learn manufacturing skills. Yeah. But I know she need these bundles. Sorry, not to be funny, but she's going to do it for the bundles because she had prom. So we get a chance to close the skills gap in a very accelerated way. Excited Ashley, she's about to get these bundles. She's learning. She's doing these accelerated learning and tests using AI to accelerate what she's not learning in her K through 12, what she's not learning in her university or her vocational school. But we know that the employer on the other end needs her to have these skills and it's constantly building on each other. And so that's going to be the future of work.
Okay.
And we're 10,000 users in to believe that this is how it's going to be. We're going to reward people to continue to upskill and reskill themselves. And we're going to be able to streamline people using skills first hiring directly into jobs quicker than ever.
Okay. Yeah. How are you funding that?
Oh, great question. So I was telling you before when I started Vower, I was like, I'm an all-ins type of gal. Okay. I'm an all-ins type of gal. I had seen enough about the world to know you kind of just need to throw yourself in there.
Gotcha.
I knew that I can always go back. I knew that I had built a great academic. I had great proximity to great friends with jobs. So I knew that I can always go back, which is really important to note because what we're entering into are people who need more equity of opportunity and not necessarily equity of outcome, which is different. More proximity. And I think we can build that through skills first. But I bootstrapped. I literally slept on my friends' couches for about 1.5 years, 2 years. Built some real deal grit in me. And then I joined Atlanta Tech Village and their pre-accelerator.
Gotcha. Nice.
And that was in 2021. I won that pitch competition. I went on from there to do Google for Startups with Jewel Solomon. And then I think we got our first check in 2021, $50K. Through literally meeting someone at a dinner. Shout out to Joey from Goody Nation. Awesome. Joey was Goody Nation in 2020, 21. I would say from SAP, and we'll talk about that, to our first check, I got through spending time in that community. That community has continued to pay dividends off to Black and brown founders.
No, that's dope. Yeah, I know one of the guys that, shout out to Eddie and Mike, all they doing over there. He went through the Google startup as well. And Mohammed Kamar. Mohammed said, I think 5.6 million. I think Mike said like 15.8 or something like that. But just keep rocking. Just keep rocking.
But I still didn't raise the money. I will say that. I didn't raise the money. I went bootstrap. And it's not that I didn't. I got like over 500 no's in this email. That's the subject line. I'm going to show you, you know.
Keep pushing, though, you know?
No, sure. So I think again, from Michigan, I'm not a stranger to hard work. I come from people who just work hard. Right? And so, we bootstrapped. I think altogether we raised over like $250K.
Nice.
But again, in my sleep, I can recruit interns and know how to utilize them very, very well.
Nice. So from I guess structure wise right now, you're a CEO, I'm assuming. Do you have a COO?
I did. I had a COO. Shout out to Tra. We've taken a little break just because we are literally bare bones, runway, every 3 months, 6 months runway. And so we've done a good job to build systems that are kind of like working on their own. And I've started now wrapping my head and sort of portfolio around fundraising. It wasn't so sexy last year when we were really ready to fundraise. Everything kind of happened. And so it's like, we're going to wait a little bit. And so trial is coming back for a few hours a week. Literally is what we can afford. And it's funny because I think more founders should talk about this. So just like, how are they getting from how are they getting from one step to the other? Like, I mean, I do a lot of things on the side to make sure my expenses are paid, where I can pay our Vower instructors, where I can pay interns. And I'm glad we did not raise money when I thought we were ready.
Yeah.
We were just not ready. Right. I just had no idea what it took to really like do something. And so to have gotten this far, enterprise partnerships, all of these users, all of this experience, and literally still have 98% of the company is really. So now I know how, just a different way where it was more need and more, it's like, oh, we bring a lot to the table. Yeah,
no, that's good. I think a lot of people don't hear that enough. Like, entrepreneurship sounds sexy until like you're dealing with like the the ruggedness of it, right? So I think it's important that you talk about that, because we've had a few startup founders on the pod already, and there's a lot more that are coming on. Yeah. But there is, before you start getting to like pre-seed and all the other jazz, there's like a lot of work that you got to put in behind the scenes, and I think some of that is, like you said, bootstrapping, and bootstrapping is still having to pay your bills and things like that.
You need a great accountant. Yeah. Shout out to Arbo, Ria, Sarav. I met them they were also startup companies at Atlanta Tech Village. Atlanta Tech Village does a great job with sort of housing a lot of entrepreneurs and building community. Yeah. And so great legal. I met my legal team, Nelson and Mullins. Nice. So legal, accounting, and just grit. Yeah.
No, that's dope. So another question I was going to ask about sort of a model there, because somebody out there is probably going to ask. So you're incentivizing people to kind of like upskill. What if they say, all right, you're teaching them to kind of like work for where's the internal motivation to kind of do your own thing? Are
you internally motivated to go to work without getting a paycheck? Okay. I think it's very, it's a luxury belief. Okay. That only we have in America. Until you go abroad, you'll understand it. Yeah. It's sort of like this luxury belief that we got to feel good, or where's the motivation coming from? The motivation comes from because we need this done in order to raise our GDP and account for inflation. Right. The motivation is done because we need businesses to be sustainable and then scale. We need services and organizations to actually be innovating and causing impact. So I think it's less about the same motivation that folks have to go to college because we told them this is the pathway you have to go to make parity, is the same motivation that I can get an entire high school to learn Microsoft Excel if they can earn Jordans because that's what they are into. Yeah. What difference does it make how they got there?
Nice house, nice car versus shoes. Same thing, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. They're doing all of these things for what we promised them that they will have on the other end of college. And unfortunately, we have not actually been able to prove that ROI. So this is less risk and cost. And you just get people like you do your children, like you do your students. You want them to act and behave. You give these incentives. And what we're saying is, not only does it incentivize the early entry worker, but it also incentivizes that cool sort of like mid-level manager who has all these skills and just wants to buy a Twitch card and play Twitch with his friends or game with his friends. And so, or he doesn't want to buy this concert ticket. So we're gaming all the time, right? It doesn't just stand for the high school or college student. It stands for the grown adult who is Marvel all around and, going to Comic-Con and going to Comic-Con and doing cool things. It's like, oh, I only got to do an hour. I can help this company. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, again, it's just it's so hard for us to not think about work just being this place to go. Mm-hmm. Really, it's an exchange of resources. Gotcha. Right? Yeah. And so if you can think about Fiverr did it right, Upwork did it right. Yep. It's this exchange of services. And yes, on a lot of times we think about this exchange being money, but you got to think globally. a lot of times it may be an Amazon gift card and I'm ready to code some lines for a few hours for you. Yeah. And I think if you take money out, it's really just streamlining what people really want. Yeah. And it's the incentives that you're going to give them at the other end of it.
Gotcha.
And we can just move people faster if we kind of cut out the politics of motivation.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
First, I'll say I feel attacked because you're talking about Marvel stuff around me. But no, like, I think that's a really good point. I think at the end of the day, like, people have like their internal motivations, and you're just tapping into that.
Yeah. And not judging whatever those things are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's dope. Yeah. Okay. So funding. Are you at a place now where you're ready for funding?
It's so funny because I was asking one of my friends who has raised funding. Literally, he makes like 2.5 AR. And I said, oh, man, I saw this particular funding organization that I adore. They just raised a lot of money. Should I go for it? He was like, nah, you ain't ready. Why do you want to go faster? No, he's like, why do you need it? I was like, I need to go faster. And I gave him all the points. And he was like, nah, you don't need to go. He basically is just like, I'm here already, or I've been here.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't need it as much as you think. And of course you can say that on the other end of it.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, I think about Zapier. I think about MailChimp. I think about people who took the slow grind, who only took 350 or only took 250, and that literally catapulted them. I'm not thinking like multi-million, because I'm not really trying to eat the world. I think there will be less and less of these huge companies. Again, I think we're in an untapped marketplace where we're focused on entry-level work and specifically supporting companies who value it. It would be like the Fiverr Upwork, but it's just local, right? Gotcha. It's entrepreneurs, non-employers who need affordable support, and they may not want it to be foreign support. They want sort of support that's like can upskill quickly, know the language of the land, know the culture, and still come in at a good price point. And so I think we're ready to raise funding, but I'm always going to say that I'm a bootstrap. I'm ready to. You don't know your skills until rent is due. I just don't think you do. It's one of those things where it's like, you need it. 18 months of runway, bop, let's get it. And a lot of my friends who raised those first 2 years when I started, they're out of business. They're in court suing their co-founders.
Gotcha.
I'm not saying that has to be, if there's a whole spectrum, right? I think we'll land somewhere in the middle. It doesn't have to be, oh my gosh, the worst thing, or oh my gosh, the best thing. It's just like, we are moving at just such a pace that we're constantly up and to the right, that it gives me the opportunity to say what's best for us right now. Gotcha. So right now we are raising just enough, not even a lick more, to keep us gritty, to keep us like doing what it takes, sneakers on, backpack on my shoulder. I'm not getting too comfortable until it's done. Until it's done, meaning that we just have so much impact in social sort of entry-level skill up that we're on ramp directly into LinkedIn.
Okay. So you're pre-seeding right now?
Yeah.
Okay. You're 100%, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. What are you offering from a pre-seed standpoint?
I would say right now our valuation is about $4 million. I always think this is like a funny question because all of it is like just based on what the fuck. Oh, sorry. Sorry. It's all based on. Edit this out, bro. Keep that on. Sorry, it's just kind of all based on like these hypothetical numbers. Like, I'm looking at the companies that are in co-comparators, what did they raise for? All of these things are very like subjective. Yep. And so that's why I'm always like, and I know my attorney feels the way. I'll be like, okay, what's the valuation now? Mm-hmm. I know that we have to have it. It gives some structure to deals. It helps investors have some type of clarity, but I really just believe like every single time that we've tried to evaluate things as much as possible, it always turns off, you know, just being very different.
Okay.
But 4 million pre-seed, raising a save on 350. I think, you know, that'll give us 18 months of runway. Right now we're thugging it out. I'm very much with or without you founder.
Gotcha.
It's going to happen regardless.
Yeah. That's dope.
And what I've learned from getting the SAP partnership is like we were getting all these no's and we got one yes and it happened to be the biggest yes.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Okay. Dope. Awesome. Got a lot of guys guys and gals that have gotten there. So
yeah.
Any connections I can help bridge.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I love talking, and they be talking shit too. They're like, "Oh, you really want these other problems?"
Yeah.
There's a whole nother side to who you have to become, and some things that you may have to. Maybe you're not, because I am actually very inspired by a lot of the new investor funds that are coming out that lead with heart and not just, especially for social impact, which is a fundamentally different way to raise funds. Social impact may take 20 years.
Yeah.
So if you're still judging or measuring a company off of this 10-year acceleration growth, TV, PI, let's just like, no, actually social impact takes time.
Yeah. I mean, your company's like based around that. So that makes sense. I think, from investor model, that's probably what you want. Okay.
We do want investment, guys. Do not let me confuse you. It's just, I am one of those. But we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you willing to give up?
I think about this. You know what? I had a great example about when we talk about leveraging. Like, I'm very much like, come on. Like, for me, equity is just a leverage tool, right? How fast can we get there? I'm not willing to give up the integrity of who we're trying to help, which is mostly folks that have been on the sideline, non-traditional participants, untapped markets. I'm not willing to, oh my gosh, the guy from Snapchat said it best when Mark Zuckerberg offered him all this money to kind of just sell. He was just like, not only did they build their structuring differently, where people, even their equity votes and their shares, you don't have voting shares at all.
Okay.
Only the founders have their voting shares. You can have all the other types of shares, but only their founders. So you can't kick them off. They're on board. Yeah. And so I'm being inspired by new ways in which builders who truly are in it, who love it, and this is how I feel. I'm like, man, I love what I do. Right. I'm so insanely curious about it. I love meeting workers who are literally another reason why I don't drive is because I get to talk to rideshare drivers who represent a lot of who we're talking about when we say those who have been on the margins with all these skills and not knowing how to get in. It's because you just learn so much. So I'm willing to give up, of course, like equity of the company, like anyone, that's very standard, but not willing to align myself with investors who just sort of want to eat the world, because I think workforce and the labor market and the future work is going to be so delicate, not only towards what we can actually build as we build relationships between work and worker, but I think our GDP, our real growth GDP, how we innovate, our national landscape in the world depends on how well we usher in new workers and how well we think about the next 5 to 20 years when it comes to work.
Okay. I feel like I got a lot to say about that, but I trying to structure it in my mind. Okay. All right. Let's move on.
Okay.
SAP. What's up? What's SAP? How'd you get started with SAP and all that jazz?
SAP is the largest enterprise software company, which just means that they power the largest enterprises in the world with their software. They help businesses do better business, operationalize more effectively. Goody Nation. I was in Goody Nation and I was applying to everything that they dropped down. It could be for someone else. I'm applying to it.
Yeah.
So SAP had came out with a pro bono program post George Floyd, post COVID, where basically volunteers within the organization, mostly higher up, will come and join a startup that they believe was promised. So they chose 8 startups nationally. We were the first inaugural class, and we were in Atlanta. Nice. And we had 3 SAP professionals join our team. Mm-hmm. We went from non-patentable to patented. With the help of all of us, all of these ideas are here. We went for patentability at the beginning. It was like, oh no, I think you need to come back. Yeah. After those 8 weeks, they was like, oh yeah, you ready? Let's go. Let's hit it. Yeah. And so, I shout out to SAP. Like, I have an inventor by my name as a patented company for AI skills first hiring platform that uses rewards to gamify the workforce. And so, that's awesome. Yeah, that wouldn't have happened without this opportunity. And so after those 8 weeks, we just continued to partner. They had a digital skills initiative, which was an initiative to get more underrepresented people into tech. Okay. And we did so well. We did better than Coursera. We did better than the big boys that they brought out on accident, just putting stuff on TikTok. We got our first cohort was 10 cohort members, which Montavious was one of them. Okay, gotcha. And we did 8 weeks with Professor Bob. Professor Bob at the time was the chair of SAP Learning. Okay. He joined us for 8 weeks. He was like, he was also very much like, okay. And we were like, okay, this is what ERP is. This is how you implement software. And we all kind of just went on this journey of learning how big business gets done quickly and how the software behind it powers the world. And 9 of those graduates are now working as full-time SAP consultants. So you talk about this accelerated way of what we knew it. So we've been doing this for interns and entry-level workers, and now we're doing it for consultants, taking people from 46K to 83K. Yeah. I just didn't know, like, when we talk about moving folks from parity from one step to the next, it's like everything changes when you make more money. And so did the digital skills initiative for about a few years, had over, I would say, 900 registered learners globally. This is where we start getting folks from Nigeria and South Africa and all over who, again, it's a global market of learning. Yeah. They would come and say, hey, we have a company that uses SAP and they're doing digital supply chain. Is this? And like, yeah, we'll certify you and we'll put you into the job pool. And now we're over 1,500 global registered learners over 27 countries. And we're official training and hiring partners for SAP. Awesome. We just started with their new student edition. So you log on, register, you'll drop down, see all those universities, and you'll see Vower. That's awesome. Yeah, you're doing an amazing job. That's really thank cool. You.
What does it cost per person?
Yeah, so on the market, cost for learning and subscription is about $1,300. We charge $500 for boot camp, and we charge. Let me help explain this. Most companies use SAP. Their workforces use SAP. Okay. So you use the software system, but then you need to be trained. So each year they have 2 upgrades if you're on the cloud. Each year, August and February. Okay. So each year they upgrade or integrate AI. You need to continue to upskill your workforce, right? Mm-hmm. So that subscription is $1,300 for an individual. Okay. Of course, corporations will buy it for an entire group of people. Yeah. That $1,300 comes with like 4 certifications. And these are like top tier: Ariba, Concord, procurement, financial accounting, manufacturing, digital supply chain, you name it, right? Yeah. A lot of Department of Defense jobs, they're using SAP. So we said, okay, great. Most of our audience and targeted audience, intentional audience, are non-traditional workers, maybe a Uber driver, maybe a fitness instructor, coming from they have the skills, they just lack the credentials. Gotcha. And so we said a barrier to entry is going to be cost. So we lowered the cost. So it's $500 for boot camp, and you get those 2 certifications. And then we turned it from hundreds of dollars to get access, which is $13.50 on the market. But with us, we do a subscription service.
Okay.
So I think it's $100 a month for access to the system, live practice. You actually go in there, build your portfolio, practice, and you get 2 certifications. And that way we know we can get more people in without the burden of cost.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And the individuals pay this, or
the individual pays. We actually just started an initiative to get high schoolers in. So this is fully paid for high schoolers.
Nice.
We get donors and we train them in person to get certification and then enter into the internship pool, because SAP has a great internship sort of program where you get fully paid as a full-time, but you are interning for about 12 months. And so they kind of build in that European way. SAP is a German company, so they do things a bit differently when it comes to workforce. So
gotcha. You talked about having some students from Nigeria and other places.
Yeah.
How do they afford it? Like, I know that's
So I think the ones that we've had so far, we've had a few barter.
Okay.
So they'll do some work for us and we barter them in.
Nice.
And we're always open for barter. That's how we started.
Yeah.
I am always a barter person, because I know for a fact when I didn't have the money, or when friends didn't have the money that I met in South Africa.
Yeah.
But if you had the skills, someone should fund that, or it should be fun. There should be no barriers to entry when you have top skill. That's our personal ethos and what we believe at Vower. So we're always going to offer a barter.
Yeah.
It can't just be anybody. We have some people just be like, okay, we have to actually, barter real skills that are going to help us. So that's one way. We offer payment plans.
Okay. Before we continue, what do you need in terms of like skills? Like,
it just depends on
somebody to wash cars.
No.
Need?
It just depends. Like, we're always looking for data analysts. We're always looking for people who can code. We're always looking for people who are great with marketing. These are just skills that we need, and so we're happy to train you in exchange for that. So that's no problem. And again, it's just the entire belief for me is the future of work will be, again, these folks that have been on the sidelines, super talented, building things in their communities, and just needed that. Montavious was actually a podcast person and had his own podcast going as he's studying. Football player, was a great athlete when he was in college, and you would never think that he would be an SAP consultant now, leading, helping with SAP. It's just like, again, untapped talent. That's what we want. Yeah. That's what we want.
Yeah. Some of the best engineers that I've known, to be honest, have been athletes. Yeah. Like, I know we started a conversation the same way, like that grit, that desire to kind of learn and grow, like, it never leaves you.
Yes, never leaves you.
Men and women. So yeah.
I'm so grateful to be here.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Just thank you. I'm so grateful to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I mean, you say that literally, but in terms of where you at in general, like, you've done amazing things.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
You should be proud of yourself. Yeah,
thank you. Thank you.
So next 5 years, what does that look like for Vower?
Okay, yeah, next 5 years, that's our sweet spot. I think companies really, we have this sort of like joke is you don't know until your 8th year. Like, that's that 8 to 10 year where most companies are either being acquired or really getting a good set of funding to see what they're about. And so we just enter year 6.
Nice.
And so we're getting more partnerships, more users, Job Corps. We just opened a new sort of pathway for Job Corps users. Again, our goal is, on the MARTA, swiping left, swiping right.
Yeah.
And 10,000 users we earned.
Yeah.
We didn't just we didn't have money for SEO or SEM or marketing. We literally did career fairs and partnered with high schools and partnered with colleges and grid by grid, the brick by brick, the Michigan Midwest styling of thinking. And so if I can just think about that being accelerated as entry-level folks may be displaced or by companies who don't know how to use AI and choose displacement over a symbiotic relationship between humans and AI agents, we're going to have an influx of entry-level folks who, if UBI or universal base income isn't there.
Yeah.
If there aren't any legislation put in place for those who may lose their job, we have Waymo now. As much as I love a good ride share, Waymo and Uber, that is going to displace so many folks who are using ride share to get by, who are using it as sort of like a middle pathway for them to get from one place to the next.
Yeah.
And so as we continue to think about displacement, we are going to pick up the spread. And the spread is just talented people that are now attracted to skills first hiring, that we can get them accelerated into jobs. And these jobs may not look like all SAP ERP jobs, but they may look like your local Africans in tech, where they can pay you, a modest stipend, and then you work at another entrepreneur and you got 2 jobs that made up one salary.
Yeah.
Right? Or you're working with a 2 to 5 person team, and you have non-employers that have always had great revenue but couldn't pay W-2 employees. And so we're picking up all of that spread because the market is moving us up. But these are inflection points that we've had already.
Yeah.
K through 12, unfortunately, is moving too slow for the advancements of technology. So you're going to have a lot of talented students with just skill debt and skill shortage that is irreversible.
Yeah.
And we are currently creating the software and technology to make sure that we can pick up that spread, to make sure that entrepreneurs who were displaced and now running their own businesses have affordable help, and that the Gen Zs and millennials, who make up now over 50% of our workforce, have a place to give that talent to.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I got 2 questions to kind of add to that. I know we're kind of running on time now, but
this is fun. This is fun. This is fun.
If, like, let's say company, startup, or large corporation wants to hire you to, like, utilize interns, they've never navigated that process before. Do you guys offer that as a service?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. So we've got enterprise contracts with SAP, Morehouse School of Medicine. Like I said, we just started a partnership with Georgia State University, hiring on their graduating business students onto companies. Concept House, which is a company, and just sort of amazing leadership. It's basically a business for entrepreneurs, solo entrepreneurs who do retail, and they have a space. It's sort of like a WeWork, but you have real spaces where you can set up your whole business there, whether it's DJ service, or you're selling candles, or you're sort of just from a yoga shop, and it's all in one place. Gotcha. And they're going to go national with this. They have their second company. And so we're supporting their entrepreneurs with interns. I don't know what your question was, but I got really excited about that. What was the question?
Let's say a company wants to hire you all to get interns. They want to understand, like, that model. And,
so typically we charge $250 just flat rate for interns. It takes us 15 days or less to find you the intern that you need.
Okay.
And so that's one way. We can post the job on our website and, can kind of just work off of that way.
Nice.
And then also, like, bigger companies, we typically work out those deals. So if we're doing a deal for your entire, if you have entrepreneurs or you have startups and you just want to do a deal with them, we do that. Yeah. If you're SAP, we kind of just started our first little 5-figure deal where we're training and then saying, now these folks are ready for the workforce, and then they send these names off to all of their partners and customers.
Now I'm excited.
Yeah.
I love what you're doing, because, like, I've been thinking about that for, like, the longest time, like, especially from, Africans in tech piece. Like, you have a lot of smart, brilliant, like, PhD level engineers in the continent that, they're making peanuts, like, pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
But if you can link them up with quality companies that are getting, like, hundreds of thousands worth of dollars in skills, but they don't have to pay the premium, but they still get a really good worker.
Absolutely. Send them to Vower. We love to help them.
That's dope. That's dope. Okay. And I forget what my second question is.
It'll come back.
It just escaped me. Yeah, I'm forgetting what it is. But you were talking about like the 5-year kind of plan.
Yeah. So yeah, we're in our prime as a company, and by prime I just mean we're just now realizing this entire market.
Yeah.
And so I think there are transitions you go through as a founder.
Thunder guys, then you know.
Was it thunder?
That's good shot. That doesn't happen here, so please don't get scared. This does not happen.
Let me fix my star. But so 5 years from now, we definitely want to posture ourselves to continue to lead the entry level workforce. Okay. I hate to sort of think and we're going to be the largest and the biggest. I just want to continue to grow and be impactful. Nice. We're at over 10,000 users now. We're continuing to prove that it's both time and it's both just like being right on time with the market. Yeah. And I just think we've done a really good job of just like being on time with the market and what the market needs. Yeah. And picking up the spread. Everyone's looking over here and we're just like, oh, y'all forgot all these people over here. Yeah. And yeah, like one of our graduates, just to say that our entire website and how we got started was an intern from Georgia Tech. Shout out to James, who's now a Palantir engineer. Nice. That's awesome. But he was not getting any play on LinkedIn. Yeah. And when we see the application, we see, oh, you've been the lead of your robotics team since high school. Yeah. How did they miss this? Right. And so he helped us to get to wherever we are. And so that's what I'm saying. We have this, not only the technology, but the mindset for the real true talent. Right. And just knowing how to utilize that. Yeah. And to help companies that we work with scale very fast because they didn't have to pay the big price, premium because it just matches like worker relationship was just right on time and what we needed. So
no, that's awesome. I'm glad you kept talking because it came back to me.
It came back. Okay. Yeah.
So it was, I was thinking about Vower this way, and it might be a joke to you.
Yeah.
Not, but it could be like a dating app in terms of like for employees. Yeah. Like, where you swipe left, swipe right, you find the right candidate, has the skill sets, matches, and then you can uptick them. So I think that to me is like awesome. Like
and search. Yeah. Think about Uber search when you have concerts. Yeah. Yeah. Because we also get still shouted out by like organizations who need nonprofits, but also events. Yep. We'll have concerts, festivals that come in town, and it's like, oh man, we need 50 more backpackers. Mm-hmm. And they'll reach out and say, hey, can you find us? And you send a button, and we send it out to folks. And so it's all of those sort of entry level, baseline to mid level skill work that just on ramps you. Yeah. We don't have an on-ramp to LinkedIn. It's just saying, be LinkedIn ready. How? Yeah. Where are we doing that? Yeah. Where's that middle place that you go to build the skills and the proximity to parity? It doesn't exist, and that's why we started.
That's awesome. Yeah. Cool. All right. So looking at the time, I'm not going to keep you too much longer. So if people wanted to partner with you, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so just reach out to me. My name is Rejoice Jones. Of course, you can go to rjones at Vower, VOWER.org. Okay. You can, any of the social media platforms at The Vower Inc., THEVOWERINC.
Okay. This is what I'm going to actually ask you.
Yeah, okay. and you can reach out to us on LinkedIn, go to our website. We're here. We're everywhere. So just reach out. Let's talk. Let's talk about the future of work. Let's talk about AI. Let's talk about, I'm really a geek for these things. And I also think that more of us are being forced to talk about the future because it's so present on like jobs and AI. And so just really go to Rejoice Jones at Substack. I put a lot of, work into that and just like being a little geek, just talking about these things all day long.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We didn't get much into the AI discussion. But,
I know.
So that just means I got to get you on the pod again for a second round.
Yes, so much. Yes.
Awesome. So for anyone who missed, her socials, we'll have that on wherever you're watching this, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever it is. We'll have our socials on there. And if you have any other questions in regards to like what we discussed today, you can hit us up at africansintechnology@gmail.com. Again, it's africansintechnology@gmail.com. That may be changing soon, but for right now, that's where it's at. Hit us up.
And congratulations on this. Just like,
oh, thank you.
Being a practitioner, but also just a thought leader on a lot of these things. I really appreciate your work and what you've been doing in the space. Like, it's really, really, really helpful and needed.
Thank you.
Yes,
I really
absolutely.
appreciate that. Yeah, we got a lot of exciting things upcoming. So yeah, definitely stay
it's
tuned.
exciting. Now I'm so as we were talking, I was like, I'm so grateful. This is so cool.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
thank you. I'll definitely be reaching out because we got a few programs that me, Chris, and others talking about that's coming up soon. So we'll definitely need interns for sure.
Perfect. We'll love to help.
Yeah. Awesome. So Rejoice is also going to have a whiteboard session, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be separate to this.
Okay.
So again, if you have any questions, hit us up. My name is Sahr Lebbie. This is Africans in Tech, where we're building bridges and shaping futures in tech. All right, fam.